the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, when you hear that theme song, you know it's time for me to say good night or greetings to the world, because we are on the World Wide Web and we reach and we communicate with you all over the globe, from right here in St. Kitts and Nevis to lovely islands and one beautiful paradise, and from where I will say a very pleasant night to St. Kitts and Nevis, a very pleasant night to the entire Caribbean region, and to the Kittitian and Nevision diaspora all over the globe. I say greetings wherever you now find yourselves. I know that some of you are in Africa. There are some of you in Asia. There are some of you in Europe. And there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I am at liberty to say good night. I will say good morning, and I am at liberty as well to say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And I want to welcome all to Straight Talk and to thank those who continue to share the link. Whenever you share the link, we do get first timers, and I'll be surprised if we don't have first timers tonight. And if we do, I say welcome to your first edition of Straight Talk, and to inform you that Straight Talk is heard every Monday and Thursday night from 8 to 10 in the PM. And on this program, which is a public service program, we facilitate and promote free, underline free expression on all issues of national interest, national, regional, and international interests, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, and or economic issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. On this program, we try as well to raise the level of national, regional, and international consciousness. We try to raise the level of national, regional, and international discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Lyburn, and I thank Almighty God for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And as your host, I hasten to pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness. And I'm always reminded of the words of a favorite hymn of mine written by Thomas Jackson and Franz Joseph Haydn. And the excerpt goes like this, and I love it. We are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing those evil things to light. So let us seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we may all know, we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. So my Straight Talk family, and in particular for the first timers, I want to inform you that absolutely nothing is watered down on this program. We don't try to make it more interesting. We're not concerned about sensationalism, neither by omission or by exaggeration. We don't care about creating excitement. The truth, sometimes it hurts. But we are not going to sacrifice or do anything at the expense of accuracy, because we always lean on the facts. We always present what I call the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance, integrity, accountability in our beloved federation and wherever it arises around the globe. Because this program joins us together with people across our federation. We join with people in the diaspora all around the world. Some we know, some we have met, some we may never ever meet, some we don't know, and we'll never meet spiritually, that is. And some of us will agree with the facts that we expound on this program. And we'll have different opinions, obviously, because we are a different people. So we entertain what I call a diversity in views. So let's agree at times to disagree. But please, do not sadden me and ever start to become disagreeable my Straight Talk family. So let's thank Almighty God nonetheless for helping us to understand oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let us therefore hope and pray for that day when we will all sing his praise together. So welcome again, my people, and thanks for those who share the link one more time. As you bring first-timers, please continue to do so. I must also remind the first-timers, or inform the first-timers, that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls, we include your emails. And if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your screens. And those who want the cloak of anonymity, because some, for obvious reasons, are afraid to call. But we give you access via our email platform, and that address is also on your screen. One word, straighttalkpatches@gmail.com. And what about those who have the Alexa, access to Alexa? You can hear Straight Talk on Alexa as well. Just say, Alexa, play Massive Vibes Radio. Thank my brother Massive for continuing to give us access through modest contribution, donation, and those who made donations, we thank you. The donation on Sunday, I must thank all who continue to give donations, and no matter what your donation, we are grateful for it. And I can assure you that it helps to continue this very important service, a public service it is. So others who may wish to donate can scan the code on your screen to access the payment form. Some people don't seem to like to access the payment form for reasons of confidentiality. I'm told it's strictly confidential. Don't need to worry. But thank you again for your support and for helping us to keep this dialogue alive. I must always welcome my junior brigade. Jasmine is on the list. Young Dwayne, Tristan, Shamar, Kevin, Rue, Travis, Travon, my grandson Neymar, his friend Soraya. Elizabeth is someone new on the list as well. And that special lady in St. Louis, trust that all is well. We now start with our observation and review. At this time, we highlight the current issues, do some reflection, we ask a few questions. And after our observations and review, we begin or move right into our thesis for tonight, which I've titled Ethical Wall Erected in the Office of Director of Public Prosecution, Adlai Smith. And our first observation, someone sent me a joke today, or shared a joke with me today. At first, I was a bit lost. And then when she explained the joke to me, I couldn't help but laughing. The joke was about this, what is called MyPad Award, my Straight Talk family. Hear this.
Dr. Drew has received the M.
Okay, we seem to have some difficulty with that. My Straight Talk family, let me get back to that in a moment. But I really have found myself laughing when my friend shared this joke with me. What's going on with this? Oh my. Let's see if I can get that up and running, my Straight Talk family. Let's see if I can get that up and running, my Straight Talk family. I need you to hear this. I really need you to hear this one. And you have to forgive me for that. What's going wrong with this? You know, when things can go wrong, they do go wrong. But I'll get back to that, my Straight Talk family. Let's see how best I can move back to this, my Straight Talk family. Oh, why is that not? Okay, my Straight Talk family, but it was about the MIPAD, MIPAD, that Lifetime Achievement Award, a prestigious honor given by the most influential people of African descent. Is an organization, the most influential people of African descent. MIPAD is the acronym. And we learned that Dr. Drew got this award. And it's a global civil society initiative that identifies high achievers of African descent, my Straight Talk family, around the world. And it recognizes their contributions across various sectors in alignment with the United Nations International Decade for People of African Descent. And that was between the period of 2015 to 2024. And there are several individuals, my Straight Talk family, several individuals that got this award. And I'm trying to get it displayed, but nonetheless, several of individuals got this award, my Straight Talk family. And these individuals have had special, strong global impact across fields like health, climate, technology, policy, youth activism, and culture. We can think of Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus of Ethiopia, who is still the director, I believe, of the Director General of the World Health Organization. Think of his leadership in health diplomacy and efforts around 2019, 2020, when we had this coronavirus pandemic. And his diplomacy and his efforts that influenced the globe. We can think of Nelson Mandela, who fought for justice, politics, and against apartheid in South Africa. We know that Mandela was in prison for 27 years and later became the first black president of South Africa and led the country through reconciliation globally as a symbol for human rights, equality, and forgiveness. And who is amongst them who got that award? Martin Luther King Jr., a civil rights leader in the United States of America. Non-violent activism known for. And we remember that speech, I Have a Dream, which inspired worldwide movements for equality. Malcolm X, a civil rights black empowerment leader who promoted black self-determination. His speeches and activism challenged both structural racism in the US and urged pride, identity, more radical approaches he did. But could you imagine, my Straight Talk family? Here's the joke. Imagine Dr. Joe has joined that band of influential leaders in just 3 short years. What has he done? What has Dr. Drew done, you may ask, to get that accolade? He negotiated a Christopher Harbour deal that displaced a local development across there in Nevis that led to a criminal complaint against the National Bank. He negotiated his own people back to the fields, not to pick cotton as in the past. No, back to the plantation to pick Tabasco peppers. Jew spoke about republicanism. Remember, he said this as well, my Stray Dog family. He spoke to this as well.
The shifting tides of constitutional change. This tiny island is reconsidering its relationship with the Crown. The Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis says he wants to give people a say on who their head of state should be.
The head of state still reside in the monarchy of England. And so that aspect of it is telling us that we are not totally free yet. That consultation or discussion will start sometime during my leadership.
The Prime Minister is also calling for an apology for the monarchy's historic role in the slave trade.
I think that acknowledging that something would have gone wrong, something wrong was done, that acknowledging it and apologizing for it is a step in the right direction.
And my Stray Dog family, ironically, it wasn't too long after Drew expressed such sentiments. And here's what? He went to see the king. Yes, my Stray Dog family, Drew went to see the king. Drew, believe it or not, went to see the king. And what's happening to my sound bites here? Oh Lord, Drew went to see the king, my Stray Dog family. Believe it or not, he went to see the king. Remember this, my Stray Dog family? Bear with me, remember this. Okay, things just seem to be going wrong for me. But nonetheless, he went to see the king. And when we think of the land grab, though, in St. Kitts and Nevis, that is now going on, Straight Talk must commend Terence Michael Drew for surprisingly being one of the most famous leaders to be recognized as an influential leader of African descent. And he got this award. Let's laugh and celebrate with Terence Michael Drew, because we ought to consider it funny that he's up there with those influential leaders in the world. My Stray Dog family, right up there he is. My Stray Dog family, isn't he deserving of that award? And our second observation, my Stray Dog family, we asked a question: why is it that for our Independence Parade, only one platoon only attended the 42nd Independence Memorial Parade?
Inspection party will now move to the number 4 guard. Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force.
Number 4 guard under the command of Inspector M. Thompson. This guard is a combination of females and males.
Yes, normally we have them split.
Yes.
The males will be number 4, the females number 5, but this is a combination.
It's a combination, my Stray Dog family. All because many of the police officers called in sick. So we didn't have the 3 platoons as per usual, one with the male, one with the female, and one with a special unit. So we had to combine what the police had And Commissioner Sutton can perhaps tell us more about that. Why there's only one platoon on parade on Independence Night, that is, when it was cool. But that's, I'm sure, we'll hear much more about in time to come. And our final observation has to do with the projects. We've heard about the Bassi High School, for example, and we're asking, what is the latest update on the new Bassi High School? Months ago, we heard this. Wow. 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 Once ago we heard months ago that the Bassi High School was on its way. And again, that video has not come up. I wonder why, my Straight Dog family. But we asked a question. We asked a question as well, what has become of all those capital projects that are on the way?
So capital project, I will say, let me go through them for you, if you don't mind. Smart homes, on their way. Right? On the way. The hospital, on the way as well. The school, on the way as well. The solar plant or solar farm, on the way as well. There are some others I will mention, not yet, but they are definitely coming on the way. We have about 2 other major investments. One will be an agriculture major investment that will also come. We have an investment for the port, airport, that is advancing significantly as well. I'm saying that when, in the next few months, I'm almost certain that we'll run out of construction workers here.
Well, we haven't run out of construction workers. All these projects are just not getting underway, my Straight Dog family. Why they are not getting underway is everybody's guess, my Straight Dog family. Everybody's guess. They are just not getting on the way. But those are my observations for tonight. And I do apologize for some of the clips, video clips that, I always like to bring the evidence, but for some reason, some of those video clips let me down. But I do apologize for that, my Straight Talk family. But those are my observations in review, and I will move right into my thesis, which I have titled, as mentioned earlier, Ethical Wall Erected in the Office of Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, Adlai Smith. And someone called me yesterday and asked if Straight Talk was doing part 3 of the National Bank criminal investigation. And my response was that this is a defining moment in the life of our democracy. So there is no limit to the number of parts that we will present in relation to the criminal complaint made against the National Bank, the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank. Because, my Straight Dog family, we are at a juncture that tests the strength of our institutions, the integrity of our leaders, and the soul of our nation. And this issue in relation to the National Bank, the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank, that has emerged, it strikes at the very heart of public trust and judicial independence. The St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank, an institution funded, backed, and largely owned by we the people, is now under criminal investigation, as I said earlier, by the White Collar Crime Unit of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. And the allegations are serious. And yet, in the face of this grave situation, the bank is silent, the regulator is silent, the government which owns the majority stake is also silent. But let us be clear. We the people must not remain silent. We must not be silent when those entrusted with public resources operate in darkness. We must not be silent when public officers, yes, public officers, because under the Anti-Corruption Act, that is what the chairman, the managing director, and senior staff of the state-owned bank, or state bank that has the majority shares, I should say. And we must not be silent when they act without transparency, without accountability, and without consequence. And now, to make matters worse, we are told by the Director of Public Prosecutions, Adlai Smith himself, that he has a personal relationship with the chairman of the bank. We are told that a prosecutor in his very office, the office of the Director of Public Prosecution, sits on the bank board. But this is not merely a potential conflict of interest. It is a textbook definition of conflict of interest. So I ask you, my Stray Dog family, how can the people be expected to believe that this investigation into the National Bank will be fair? How can the people be expected to believe that justice will be done when the walls between power and accountability are so obviously breached? Let us reflect on this issue that I brought to the public domain. Pursuant to Section 3 of the Anti-Corruption Act 2023, the Nautilus Club filed a 31-page criminal complaint against the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution on June the 20th, 2025. The Anti-Corruption Act calls for the appointment of a special prosecutor whose office would receive any criminal complaint filed against any officer listed under the Act, my Stray Dog family. And we've been hearing about public prosecutor for a long time, very long time, my Stray Dog family. And what has happened, we may ask. Wow. We've heard about the public prosecutor advanced by the disgraced Attorney General. As of now, the government has not appointed a special prosecutor, which is very strange. It appears as though the government was required to pass this law as a member of the international community, such as the United Nations, the IMF, and the World Bank, but makes it difficult for the people to report criminal complaints against public officers and public officials, including the government ministers. And my stray dog family, the DPP raised his own views on this, my stray dog family. The DPP did say this, my stray dog family.
Wanted to
My stray dog family, I really do apologize for these glitches with my sound bites, and I'm so sad that it's rather unusual that we've had this problem, but you'll hear them. Trust me, you'll hear them tonight. I'll make certain that we have these really reloaded and put to your listening ears, because we have to provide the evidence. It is important that we do provide the evidence, my straight dog family. And let me see, I know what I'll do. I will go right back into them and reload it, and I'll get it to you. So forgive me again, my straight dog family. This must be it this time.
wanted to get an opportunity to see my vision for our prosecution department actually come to light, right? I think that, and I think it's not just here in St. Kitts and Nevis or in Antigua and Barbuda, but there's widespread dissatisfaction with the justice system, I find. And I think one of the reasons for that, or one of the key reasons for that, is that the stakeholders in the system are not sensitive to the needs and the interests of the people that it serves.
Stakeholders in the system such as?
Well, the politicians who hold the ministryship, or who head the ministries which have responsibility for the courts, number one. Those persons who are actually in the system, like for example the prosecutors. I can't say the judges, because judges have a very limited role insofar as what they can do and what they can say. The police, and so on and so forth. We must realize at the end of the day, there's a reason why we're called public servants. We serve the public. Once we cease to serve the interests of the public, what in essence we have become? Public masters.
And yes, my stray dog family, and he was speaking about his boss. And yes, his boss, the Attorney General, and this Grace Garth Lucifer Wilkin, did in fact say this before.
We are considering appointing a special prosecutor that can engage auditors, independent auditors, to investigate some of the statutory corporations, and then that special prosecutor can then prepare reports to present to the DPP, who will then decide whether to prosecute or not.
But my stray dog family, it is important nonetheless that the people of this country be made fully aware that this law exists, and it encourages people to report any corrupt conduct by any public officer or public official supported by evidence. The good news is filing any complaint will not cost the person making the complaint any money. And the good news is as well, though Section 4 of the Act states that the Act does not affect the constitutional powers of the Director of the Public Prosecution. Therefore, since the government, since the disgraced Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin, since 2023, has not seen it fit to appoint the special prosecutor as he intimated, then the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecution, has the power to act as the special prosecutor. And I believe it is for this reason why the Nautilus Club filed a criminal complaint against the bank at the office of the Director of Public Prosecution. Just to remind you, my Stray Dog family, the Nautilus Club has alleged that the board, the management, and agents of the bank engage in the following criminal conduct: corporate espionage. Yes, corporate espionage. Conspiracy to harm by the board and agents to destroy the Nautilus Marina project. Remember, the Nautilus Marina project came before, since in 2021, before the sale of this Christopher Harbour Marina. Remember, Drew announced the sale, my Stray Dog family. But it came before that sale. It was competing. But my Stray Dog family, Drew failed to let us know what's happening with the marina and failed to give us the true facts about it. He told us this, my Stray Dog family.
I address you today to speak directly and transparently about a remarkable new chapter in the development of our beloved country. I refer, of course, to the official sale of their marina assets and operations at Christopher Harbour to the world-renowned Safe Harbour Marinas LLC. This move was not hasty. The Darby family, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, and Safe Harbour Marinas engaged in detailed, respectful, and accountable negotiations, resulting in a sale that benefits the people of this country in tangible, measurable ways. After meticulous negotiations, this government has secured direct payments of nearly 25 million Eastern Caribbean dollars from this transaction. These direct payments, which are only a part or portion of the sale price, are funds that are going straight back into our public institutions, settling long-standing debts and restoring financial order that was lost.
And my Stray Dog family, this was part of the conspiracy to destroy the Nautilus Marina project. But there was also conflicts of interest by lawyers of the bank. The bank charging legal fees without the appropriate business license. Lawyers of the bank operating without business licenses and valid practicing certificates. There was collusion, according to Nautilus Club, between the lawyers for the bank and a sitting judge to obstruct justice. Serious allegations, my Stray Dog family, amongst other allegations. So, on June the 25th, 2025, Director of Public Prosecution Adlai Smith wrote a letter to the legal representatives for the Nautilus Club that confirmed receipt of the criminal complaint. In that letter, the Director of Public Prosecution Adlai Smith further confirmed that he had a conflict of interest because of close friendship with the chairperson of the National Bank, the board of the National Bank, I should say, Mrs. Carol Boddy and her family. Yes, the DPP stated that does not bar him from initiating an investigation by the White Collar Crime Unit led by Inspector Jerry Watt. In that letter, the DPP further confirmed that he will forward the materials provided to Inspector Watt and formally request his unit to undertake a comprehensive inquiry. The Director of Public Prosecution further stated that once the investigation by the WCCU is complete, he would consult with his senior prosecutors to confirm that none has a conflict in interest in evaluating the sufficiency of the evidence. He further added that assuming no such conflict exists, the file would then be entrusted to an appropriate senior counsel. The DPP went on by declaring in the interest of transparency that one of his prosecutors, a prosecutor in his office, also sits on the board of the bank. Could you imagine that, my straight dog family? He also added that she was not among the senior cadre of prosecutors. But whether she was senior or junior, he's a prosecutor in the office of the Director of Public Prosecution, sits on the board of the bank. The DPP concluded his letter by stating, and I quote, "An ethical wall will be erected in his office to ensure that neither he, the DPP, or the prosecutor in his office influence the matter after the investigative process." You're probably wondering, why isn't Straight Talk providing the facts? And we always do. And this comes from Adlai Smith, my Straight Talk family, the Director of Public Prosecution. Read for yourselves, my Straight Talk family. We never fabricate anything here on Straight Talk. Never. Never, my Straight Talk family. We never ever fabricate what we bring to you. Let's read this together. From Adlai Smith, dated Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. Subject: addendum to SKNA National Bank criminal complaint. Dear Miss Williams, it reads, and I quote, "Thank you for your message and the accompanying documentation, which I reviewed this evening. I appreciate your note regarding my acquaintance with the chairman of the board and the potential conflict it presents. While this familiarity precludes my direct role in prosecutorial decisions, it does not bar me from initiating an investigation by the White Collar Crime Unit led by Inspector Jerry Watt." It continues. Look to the right from the top. Let's read it together, my Straight Talk family. "I," the director continued, Director of Public Prosecution that is, continues, "I will therefore forward the materials you provided to Inspector Watt and formally request that his unit undertake a comprehensive inquiry. Once the investigation is complete, I shall consult my senior prosecutors to confirm that none has a conflicting interest in evaluating the sufficiency of the evidence. Assuming no such conflict," he continues, "the file will be entrusted to an appropriate senior counsel. For full transparency," he continues, "I note," hear this, my Straight Talk family, "for full constituency," he continues, "I note that one prosecutor sits on the same board as the chairman. A prosecutor in the office of the Director of Public Prosecution sits on the board of the National Bank. However," he continues, "she is not among the senior cadre, and an ethical wall will be erected to ensure neither she nor I influences the matter after the investigative process, in strict adherence to our conflict of interest protocol." I trust, he continues, these steps chart a fair and impartial path forward. Could you imagine that, my Straight Talk family? That's coming from the DPP, a member of his office, a prosecutor, sits on the National Bank Board. He has a familial relationship with the chairman of the board, Mrs. Body. But continue on, my Straight Talk family. On August 19th, almost 2 months after the criminal complaint was filed with the office of the DPP, 2 months after, the White Collar Crime Unit confirmed that the criminal complaint had been formally filed with the office of the WCCU from the office of the DPP to commence an investigation. And I shared this with you before, and you must remember this, my Straight Talk family. Coming from the office of the White Collar Crime, or coming from the White Collar Crime Unit, my Straight Talk family. But you see, the questions that would arise, the above events I catalogued raise a lot of questions. And one thing that is not in doubt, we know for sure that the bank is under criminal investigation. No matter how silent the bank remains, they are under a criminal investigation, according to the information that I've shared with you. And the information and confirmation coming from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. The next logical question would be, my Straight Talk family, what is the status of the investigation? The bank is the financial bloodline of this nation. And without trying to influence or interfere with the investigation, all we do is bring in the facts. But the people of the nation, of this federation, have every right to know what is going on with the criminal investigation into the National Bank and the board entrusted to run the bank. We the people need to know if public officials, including any government official, may be trying to interfere with the investigation by trying to influence the White Collar Crime Unit to delay the investigation. Straight Talk was reliably informed that the disgraced Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin convened a meeting a few days ago with the FSRC, the FIU, and the WCCU, and informed them of pending changes. Is he about to interfere politically in my Straight Talk family? The people need to know, how is the board of the bank allowed to continue to function in their roles while being formally under investigation? And this derives other questions. Can they manipulate documents to interfere with the investigation? Can the board members destroy evidence while they continue to function, while they are all under criminal investigation? Why has the bank not made a formal statement? These are questions that must be asked. Why has the government not made a formal statement? And some of the most serious questions must be directed to the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, my Straight Talk family, is the regulator for all the commercial banks in the OECS. This means that it is the responsibility of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank to ensure that all banks are operating within the guidelines established by the ECCB the Banking Act, and all other relevant laws. The fact that the Director of Public Prosecution deemed the accusations against the bank to be so serious to warrant a comprehensive investigation raises questions about the quality of the regulatory oversight that the ECCB is conducting when it comes to the St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla National Bank. The ECCB must answer as to why these serious allegations against the bank were allowed to happen under its watch. It has come to the attention of the Straight Talk family that the same allegations filed with the office of the DPP was also filed with the ECCB since June 2025. However, Straight Talk understands that the ECCB has tried to avoid the complainant, and this raises the question of whether the ECCB is trying to avoid investigating the bank. And this is serious. Why has the ECCB been so silent or has refused to act against the bank? This is not normal behavior from the regulator, because Straight Talk was informed that a single corrupt allegation was made against a director of another bank in the Federation in 2016. And in less than 48 hours, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, using its powers under the Banking Act, removed that director on the basis of that allegation, even without an investigation. One of the issues raised is the fact that both the Central Bank and the National Bank share the same lawyer. Doesn't this represent the conflict of interest? And this lawyer is named in the criminal complaint. But Straight Talk will continue to investigate this matter in order to bring the truth and transparency to the people. The Director of Public Prosecution, Adlai Smith, on the other hand, has tried to assure us that an ethical wall, these are his words, an ethical wall will be erected, that no one will interfere, that justice will remain blind. Those are my words. But my fellow citizens, in any democracy, perception matters just as much as process. Justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. And right now, the people are not seeing it. What we are seeing is politics. What we are witnessing is silence. What we are seeing is power shielding itself from scrutiny. But let me remind those who currently wield the power. No wall is high enough. No connection is strong enough. And no office is sacred enough to place anyone above the law. Straight Talk therefore demands the following, and we will not relent, my Straight Talk family. 1, that the Director of Public Prosecution, Adlai Smith, immediately recuse himself from all aspects of this case and delegate full authority to an external independent prosecutor. 2, that the prosecutor in his office who sits on the bank's board step aside from the investigation entirely to preserve both integrity and public trust. 3, that the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, as the regulator, speak publicly and clearly on the compliance and governance failings that allowed the Nautilus loan not to proceed. That the government of St. Kitts and Nevis issue a statement of commitment to full transparency and open itself to parliamentary scrutiny on this matter. And finally, we demand that the rule of law, not the rule of friends, not the rule of favors, and not the rule of political parties, we demand that the rule of law prevail in this land. This is not a partisan issue. This is a national one. Because when justice is compromised, the entire country suffers. When conflicts of interest are normalized, corruption becomes systemic. And when power is not held to account, democracy decays from the inside out. So let this message, or let this be a message to every public officer, to every regulator, to every politician, and to every citizen. Straight Talk is watching. Straight Talk is demanding. And Straight Talk, on your behalf, we are prepared to act. This is our country. This is our democracy. And justice must remain blind, not deaf, not dumb, and certainly not bought. This is not about vengeance. It is not about politics. It is about principle. It is about public confidence. And it is about protecting the integrity of justice in our democracy. Because when powerful people close ranks, the people must open their eyes. When institutions falter, the people must rise. And when justice is at risk, we must all become guardians. So let it be known throughout the Federation, from the courtroom to the boardroom, and from the corridors of government to the streets, the court of public opinion is now in session, and it will not be silenced. It will not be silenced by the Straight Talk family. So no matter what the Director of Public Prosecutions has written, we take it with a grain of salt. The letter he has written by Straight Talk family. And he speaks to full transparency. He speaks to his familiarity with the chairman of the board of the National Bank. But then he speaks, by the Straight Talk family, for full transparency. He writes, I note that one prosecutor sits on the same board as the chairman. However, she is not among the senior cadre. And an ethical wall, he writes, will be erected to ensure neither she nor I influences the matter after the investigative process. What about before the investigative process? In strict adherence of our conflict of interest protocol. And he has the gall to tell us. He trusts that these steps chart an impartial path forward. The only path forward, Director of Public Prosecution Adlai Smith, is to recuse yourself. Get an independent prosecutor to look at this case, to examine all aspects of this case. Director of Public Prosecution Adlai Smith, delegate full authority to this external, and I underline external, independent prosecutor who knows nothing about this case. That's the only thing or action that will make it impartial. The Court of Public Opinion is in session. And finally, we will not live behind this quote-unquote ethical wall erected in the office of the Director of Public Prosecution, Adlai Smith. That's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family. and I am not going to change it. The National Bank criminal complaint under investigation is a serious matter. We cannot afford to remain silent. We will speak out. When the facts come to us, we will share them with you. We have no horse in the race. All we need is justice, fairness, accountability in this country. I'll open the lines, my Straight Talk family, and entertain your calls and your emails. And when I do so, which is momentarily, I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. Let us, in the process, try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us, my Straight Talk family, ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. We are going to live behind that wall. Caller, it's 7 past the 9 o'clock hour. I say good night and welcome to Straight Talk.
Good night, Mr. Liebert.
Good night, my dear. I recognize that voice. And how are you?
I'm great. Ethics must begin at the top of an organization.
Must begin?
At the top of an organization.
Okay.
It is a leadership issue, and the chief executive must set the example.
It is a leadership issue.
And the chief executive must set the example.
Must set the example. Yes.
I repeat, ethics must begin at the top of an organization. It is a leadership issue, and the chief executive must set the example. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. Very, very, always welcome your quotations. Ethics must begin at the top of an organization. It is a leadership issue, and the CEO must set the example. Let us go back to the lines, my Straight Talk family, and say good night to this caller. Caller, you're live. It's 9:09. Hello, caller.
Mr. Straight Talk. Mr. Straight Talk.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
You have no excuse.
Mr. Straight
You have
Talk,
no excuse. You have no excuse.
Look. Yes, I have my. I didn't recognize you. Call me.
You have no excuse.
I was shocked. Just now, I just put on the phone here, and I'm saying, wait. I was using my brother's phone. I never used this phone.
You have no excuse, my brother.
It's all right.
I am disappointed, but I excuse you, though, right? I'm a man to my word. I said I would call you.
I keep saying, but how come my brother ain't call me? But not recognizing that you're calling this phone because I put down this phone from the time I reach St. Kitts.
But that's the only number I have.
I never call you on this phone.
But that's the only number I have, and you have my other numbers. You have my.
I call you with my other phone, the phone that my brother gave me, but there was nothing coming through. It was strange. Anyway, let me put this behind us.
Please, yes. Yeah, but
yes, let me put this behind us.
We'll have to make up for that. We'll have to make up for that.
Yes. We're gonna make. Look, I believe in a making up thing. Understand?
Yes.
And we're gonna do better.
Right.
And my brother, we're gonna do better. So just let us do what we have to do, and we're gonna get it right.
I'm sure.
Okay?
Of course, my brother.
We're gonna keep this love going until we see each other. So do not let this spoil our relationship. We got a better things coming.
Not at all, my brother. Not at all. But
so you be good. You take care of yourself, and let us do what we gotta do again and get over this and put it behind all of us. Thank you so much, my brother. See you when I see you.
Abracadabra. Abracadabra. Yes, my brother from another mother. I tried to get into him. I promised I'll get to him. And I got back on Wednesday. I call helter skelter, but he never answered his phone. But, you know, that's life. That's the way God planned it. It's 11 past the 9 o'clock hour. My Straight Dog family, the Director of Public Prosecution has undoubtedly accepted that there's conflict of interest written all over his office and even over his face as director. If criminal complaint was filed with the Director of Public Prosecution, it took him 2 months to forward it to the White Collar Crime Unit. And my Straight Dog family, he was caught out. Yes. But he was honest enough to agree that there are issues as it relates with his relationships and relationships generally. On June the 25th, when he wrote this letter, my Straight Dog family, to the legal representatives of the complainant, he was mature enough to confirm that he had a conflict of interest because of the close friendship with the chairperson of the St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla National Bank Board, Miss Carol Buddy, and her family. But he further stated that it does not prevent him from initiating an investigation by the White Collar Crime Unit, led by Inspector Jerry Watts. And that's fine. In that letter that's posted on your monitors, on your screens, Director of Public Prosecution Adlai Smith further confirmed that he will forward the materials provided to Inspector Watt and formally request his unit to undertake a comprehensive inquiry. Adlai Smith further stated that once the investigation by the White Collar Crime Unit is complete, he would consult with his senior prosecutors to confirm that none has a conflicting interest in evaluating the sufficiency of the evidence. He further added that assuming no such conflict exists, the file would then be entrusted to an appropriate senior counsel. He further added, by declaring in the interest of transparency that one of his prosecutors or one of the prosecutors in his office also sits on the board of the bank. Then how incestuous could this get? We told you about the chairman of the National Trust, Peter Jenkins, who sat on the or sits on the SIDF board and the Christopher Harbour board. But the DPP concluded in his letter, read it, and tried to assure us that an ethical wall will be erected in his office. For what? To ensure that neither he, the DPP, or his prosecutor on the bank board influences the matter after the investigative phase. What about before? or during the investigative phase. This stinks to the heavens. It raises a lot of questions, and questions that cannot be doubted. But it's the silence by the bank, the silence by the government, the silence by the regulator, the central bank, silence all over. But at least the DPP deemed the accusations against the bank to be so serious to warrant a comprehensive investigation, raises questions about the quality of the regulatory oversight that the central bank is conducting when it comes to the St. Kitts, Nevis, and Willow National Bank. My Straight Talk family, these are issues. These are issues that we take seriously, and we must never dismiss them. Never dismiss them, my Straight Talk family, because it affects all of us in some way, some shape or form. No matter what ethical wall he puts up, we should not live behind that wall, my Straight Talk family. Greetings, Patches reads this email. I want you and the world to know that there's something wrong with National Bank, and they didn't have the decency to inform the public. I tried making a withdrawal at the ATM on Friday. No money came out, but my Mo banking showed that the monies came off of my account. I visited the card center, and in there was chaotic, with people complaining about the same problem. They said everyone will get back their monies by the end of the day. Up to now, people haven't received their monies. This is unacceptable. How could National Bank inconvenience people on the weekend like this? They should have called in their workers this weekend to rectify the problem. Poor people always have to suffer, reads this email. Good night, Mr. Liebert, reads this other email. I need your help because I think that we live in a mixed up island. The government decided to join other island countries in banning the containers we were using for guard water. I guess he meant water, etc. I am confused because a friend of mine, or goat water, okay, because a friend of mine sells goat water and other items which require using the containers. And all last week and today, she went to all the supermarkets to find out what they have in stock to sell for use in supplying goat water and other such things when selling, and it shocked us when no one supermarket or supplier has anything selling for us to purchase. I think if the government stopped merchants from supplying us with such items, then I think that the government should have had something in place for us to purchase, to use. It means that a lot of us, the goat water sellers, would not be able to supply our clients with their needs. Drew and others, please sort this mess out and either order the supplies and let us purchase from the government or do something to help us. You mean things so hard that we cannot even get to sell our goat water and conch chowder? Looks like we are going to have to break the law and bring in our order of containers. The government should be embarrassed from the mess they have put us in. Help us solve this mess we are in. Please get us out of this. You know what? Reads this email from a concerned citizen. And yes, my Straight Talk family, the lines are open. I'm entertaining your calls. I'm entertaining your emails. I have titled my thesis for tonight, Ethical Wall Erected in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, Adlai Smith. And this has derived from the fact that a criminal complaint was made in respect of the National Bank, that is the St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla National Bank. Everyone is silent. Nobody wants to touch it. But Straight Talk brings you the information on every issue, irrespective of the content, irrespective of that derivative effects. And this one, a serious complaint against the bank filed at the office of the DPP. The DPP took 2 months to respond, but the fact is he responded. Remind you, my Straight Talk family, that the complainant, the North Steelers Club, alleges that the board of directors, management, and agents of the bank engaged in criminal conduct. Caller, you're live at 9:23. Hello, caller.
Yes, good night, my brother Patches.
Yes, good night, sir.
This is your humble servant, Winston. Welcome. Patches 2. No joke. I will reiterate and reaffirm Nobel Peace Prize nominee. As you continue to do your work with educational inspiration to me and others, and I'm sure no one will condemn my perspective. Moving forward, Brother Patches, I had the privilege to attend the independence celebration here in the Bronx, New York, Sunday. And I was able to meet with the Prime Minister. I will consider a famous handshake. Friendly, service was excellent, and it was positive. But I would have liked to have a conversation, but I know the setting did not warrant such. But allow me to call upon Prime Minister Drew. I cannot be selfish, but I'll be willing to help for the remaining time that he has in office. But it's all for the sake of the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, because really, I don't think he is guided properly, and the other members of Parliament who are elected for the constituencies, I don't think they're doing much justice to him. And when I saw him up close and personal Sunday, I said I wish I could help that man in some way, shape, or form. So, Prime Minister Drew, the country don't need no more negativity. They need positive vibes moving forward. And I'm putting it out there. Please call me and let me do what due diligence that the Federation needs. Because I am very, very passionate about the people. Give it the best shot, the remaining chance that you have now. moving forward. Winston, welcome. We're willing to sit with you and we iron out these problems. Don't worry about the others that are sitting around you. I don't think there is good communication amongst your other fellow leaders. So, my brother, 347-460-8192. You could contact me on WhatsApp. I await your call. Thank you for having me. Thank you for hearing me, Brother Patches. God bless the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Bye for now.
Thank you very much, my brother, our friend, offering your service to the Prime Minister. We trust that he would heed your call and your offer. But let's go back to the line. This is 27 past the
Good night.
9 o'clock. I'm calling you live. Yes? Yes?
Good night.
Yes, my brother. Sounds like the Bible man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, Mr. Patches. Now I can start one thing here. Psalms 107. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord for his good.
His mercies.
For his mercy endured forever.
Yes.
Now the second one is Psalm 41. Blessed is the man that considereth the poor. In the time of trouble, the Lord shall deliver him. But I want to say something to you tonight. Nobody, and I'm going to say nobody, know when they're going. Only God knows. And I am going to say it again. Not himself, the angel in heaven, know when Jesus comes in. And so we have to prepare ourselves, Mr. Patties. And we got to pray and got our mind upon the Lord. I want to say something tonight, more than ever. The word of God says we is not our own. We can't do as we like. But when we get the opportunity, we're supposed to look after one another. I can press it every time I come on the radio and press it. God in high heaven asked Cain, where is his brother? Cain burst out, my brother's keeper. And so God tell him, your brother blood is crying out for vengeance. That is, you know what that tell me? Every one of us in the world, we are a brother's keeper. And it seems like not so with us. And the reason why sometimes I'm telling you seriously, as a born-again believer, when people say things that do me things, I have to forgive them. And when they come and they talk to me, I have to answer them. You know why? Because God made them. But you see, the devil is rampant in them. And as the word of God says, the heart is deceitful and desperate, wicked. Son, we as children of God, we have to really pray. Now the last, the second to last thing going to say, Mr. Patrick, and I'm going to finish. You know what the Bible said? If the righteous could scarcely be saved, I can say it again. If the righteous could scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and his sinner shall appear? Now he says, the last thing I can say, we have to kneel long at night, every night, and pray either in our heart, open our mouth, and ask God to forgive us. As born again believers, we got to do it. And we have to ask because the Bible says we sin in word, thought, and deed. And no one saved, always saved. Because we do not know when the time will come. So, Mr. Patrick, I thank God for you. And I know you're doing a good job. And you know the reason why? Because when you was in power, you look after the poor people, Patrick. And I said, God, open the way day by day. And He bless you. Because God knows your heart after you look after you. Mr. Patrick, continue to do what God bid you to do. And so, when the time comes, God come. And then this, he will say, okay. No repentance in the grave, no pardon after the dead. When you're dead and you don't repent, you're dead, you're done. You're going to have to beat up the white throne judgment day, and there's going to be no That's it. Good night. Have a pleasant night.
Have a good night, Mr. Bibleman. Always welcome your spiritual interventions. And I want to thank this caller for holding caller your live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Patrick, good night, man. How you guys doing tonight?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Pretty good, man. I like the way how you break everything down tonight, despite the difficulty with the clips. None of us will really get at you for that because you always bring the unvarnished truth and the facts every night.
Yep.
This issue that you have raised for the past couple of weeks about this criminal complaint against the bank, very appalling, man, because at the end of the day, the poor people is who going to feel the squeeze. The Prime Minister, I'm calling him out. He has the finance portfolio, right?
Yes, he does.
So he should be overseeing whatever goes on in our banking system in the Federation. And that National Nevis Anguilla National Bank, that's the bank where the government got 51% ownership.
Yes.
So he has to guard against all of the people that have these accounts in this bank. Because Patches, if anything goes wrong, what's going to happen is the money that we have in our accounts, we're going to lose it. And they won't even give a SHIT shit about us. The hesitation from the government side, it doesn't look good. Every time they're coming from behind, they're being reactive. They have to be proactive. The account holders need to demand that transparency. If something is going on criminally, especially inside that bank, the account holders need to know about it because we have to protect our money. Man, at the end of the day, the whole place is corrupted. Corruption our politicians, the citizens, the banking system, and most of all, the judicial system is corrupted. The prime minister, when he take office, if I was him, yes, and I'm going to agree with my colleague earlier. Let me make it clear: the prime minister is only one person. Because if I was in his shoe, I won't even want to take some of these hits either, because the PS is underneath the prime minister. They need to be doing their work. They need to do their jobs. All of these ministers of government who have these portfolios, they need to be doing their work. The PS is underneath of them need to be doing their work. If I was the prime minister when I came in, I would have come with a brand new entourage. I would not go back to any of these oldsters. I don't care what nobody says. All of these oldsters that's advisors and they're already collecting pensions, they would not be a part of my entourage. They won't get none of those out there. Obviously, they need to go home. They need to really go home. What happened to all those people that went away to school and come back to the Federation and trying to make an input? They can't even make a family because they don't have the jobs where these oldsters are clogging up the place. The system is clogged up. We need to we need to evolve. We need to evolve. The prime minister, the way how he campaigned and he came in, he went back to the party politics. His job as a leader should be to unite the people and raise the quality of life for the people. We keep referencing some of these Scandinavian countries and these Middle Eastern countries, but a country like Qatar, they got resources there, and whatever revenue they make sure their citizens get dividends. That in itself will help raise the quality of life of the people. We're not seeing that happening in St. Nevis. All the money they collected to the CBI program since its inception, the money did not trickle down to the working class. And the stuff that's going on in St. Nevis got to get corrected. And it's a sham from the DPP. The way how these clips that you put up from the DPP office. It's a sham. Because if they're not going to be wholehearted in this investigation, they need to get fired. Anyone who interrupted this criminal probe, they need to get fired. The prime minister needs to be looking into this ASAP. And the AG cannot be operating the way how he operates. This man is the legal point man for the government. And the prime minister needs to instruct him appropriately. And if I was the prime minister, man, I would give him specific instructions. And if he doesn't follow my instructions, he will go home. I will send him home because he's the point man legally for the prime minister and the government. And he the one that got to make sure that some of these things is really happening. He needs to make sure these, especially when it comes to white collar crimes, they're passing a lot of laws that's only geared towards the poor people. But you know what I heard on another radio station this morning? That concerning tints in your cars, somebody can go to jail for having tints in their car. That's ridiculous. And secondly, if you get charged down the street for tints in your car and you ride up the street and another police stop, you can get another ticket up there. That is ridiculous. You're supposed to at least get 24 hours before you can really actually take them tints off or be charged a second time. In the United States, in some of these traffic stops or whatever, you're not going to be charged twice in one day for a specific thing. It depends. It depends on what the charges or the offenses, yes. But something I believe like that 10, you may not get charged twice in one day. You have to be given 24 hours to rectify the matter. And to hear that somebody can go to jail for a tint in their car, and these people are committing all these white-collar crimes and not being charged, man, it's ridiculous. We need equal rights and justice in the place. The judicial system got to be cleaned up. And all that commotion that's going over at Nevis with those Southside lands, You cannot tell me. No one can convince me that there is no conflicts of interest over there with those lands happening with that proposed enclave on Nevis. No one can convince me that there is no conflict of interest there. And I'll leave it there, man. I wish the Federation the best going forward, but I'll leave it there for tonight. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, my dear brother. A mouthful as usual. And yes, there are serious issues and ought to be addressed. I mean, the criminal conduct cited includes corporate espionage by the Stray Dog family, conspiracy to harm by the board and its agents to destroy the Nautilus Marina project. Let's go back to the Lions caller. Thank you for holding your live.
Yes, good evening, Patrice.
Good evening, my dear. How art thou?
I'm giving God thanks for every day that I woke up.
Oh, we all do.
What about you?
We all do. I'm peaceful. God has been good to me, you know.
Okay. Patrice, let me tell you something. You hear me? When I start to look up into the at this, you remember when you show the man from Antigua there and Mark go and see if there's brothers because two of them look alike and what that I asked you that. Now you hear what you call me with as brothers of feather slapped together. And this bank story, I would definitely that you get the thing come out of it. The inquiry come out of it because we don't expect to get anywhere because of the people them that's there. You remember the attorney. He broke the law. He broke the law. And people pay for the same law like him. And they have to pay for it. And what he gets is to go in office and start to pass law on top of us who ain't doing nothing. So what you expect will happen in this country here? He broke the law and he in that pass law on top of us. We don't expect nothing better. We are telling you, we in big trouble. So all who was a relaxing think that well definitely, or it is nothing and nothing, or we let you and wait for you. And I will let you know what are this prime minister here doing that he get 3 years in office and he get actually nobody business all of the time we've been down here. We all employ minister here for so many years. We never tell them go and get no athlete, no this one we just gone in. And what he did, ask what sign over land. What are he doing to be getting these things? We must sit down and ask himself what that Mr. Mande is doing. Every minute keep on a plane going far. What are he doing that nobody else, no more prime minister down in the Caribbean down there can do? That every minute keep on a plane, gone up in the Middle East. Now he get athletes now for what are he doing? Let us ask ourselves the question and take it from there. Please you have a pleasant night.
Have a pleasant night as well, my dear. Always good to hear you, see those dimples, and thank you for your intervention and always to the point. And as we say, that's what we like, to talk straight and talk the facts as well. So, and fear not, because the only defense to any defamation is the truth. As long as you talk the truth, you need not worry, my straight dog family. Lots of people are silent on this issue about the National Bank and the criminal complaint. The government is silent. The regulator, the central bank, is silent. And the National Bank itself is silent. But there's an issue I want to flag again before I conclude tonight. It is the issue as it relates to the impartiality of the Director of Public Prosecution. The Director of Public Prosecution promised to set up an ethical wall. He wrote that. He wrote that he wanted to establish an ethical wall. But the Director of Public Prosecution ought to recuse himself, no matter what conflict of interest protocols he has in his office. He ought to recuse himself and get an external prosecutor, not one from St. Kitts. It's nothing new. We've brought them in before. His predecessor brought in an external prosecutor to deal with some matter. So it's nothing new, nothing's changed. But let's go back to the lines, my straight dog family, and take this call. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Patches again. This is the voice of Winston. Welcome again. The caller that just called, Mr. Jones, I will condone with everything he said. What I can't explain, what I failed to explain, that man is so wonderful with his perspective. I listened to that traffic information this morning also, and to me that is ridiculous. Very ridiculous, and I'm not going to reiterate such. Burl already mentioned that. But my focus right now is for the country to be good, and the due diligence is due, not because, or even though I am an independent candidate, the services that I have for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, I can render it to the Prime Minister moving forward. I still will be a competitor. But I am, and I'm reaching out to him because I feel he's under a lot of pressure, stress and strain. And he needs help. He cannot do that alone. No one man is an island. We all, we should help in making the country great. Winston Welcome is willing to make the country great and put a smile on the face of the people of the Federation of St. Kitts. And I'm sure, Patches, you will agree with me. We cannot be selfish in our own ways. We got to share. And as Bible man say, blessed is the man who considereth the poor. And we are willing to help. I am willing to help. Burl is willing to help. And I'm saying, call Burl Jones, call Winston Welcome. We will help you straighten out and clean up this administration, this government, ASAP. Because you are not surrounded with positivity, negativity, and all kleptocrats and selfish and self-aggrandized people. We don't need that. We need servant who will share. and be empathetic, compassionate for the people. And we will move forward in a brighter way and a better day. Thank you. Again, I yield to the others who are willing to call. Bye for now again.
Thank you very much. And yes, my Straight Dog family, we, in fact, raise the question of the impartiality, and that's something we will continue to raise. And I refer to my quotation from Across the Narrows. Ethics must begin at the top of the organization. It is a leadership issue, and the chief executive officer must set an example. And I'm trying, again, my Straight Dog family, to get those sound bites up and running. My images just seem to disappear. Something is jiggy about my sound bites tonight. And as we wind down our tonight's programming, I got my caption, my title tonight, from the content of this communication from the Director of Public Prosecution, Adlai Smith. There is no question that the bank is under criminal investigation. Many of us don't want to hear that. Many of us don't want to talk about that for different reasons. But I provided the evidence as usual. I always provide you the evidence. That's one hallmark, if that's the right term, about Straight Talk. And I wanted to share this one more time with you from the Director of Public Prosecution, Adlai Smith. Smith always talk about the rule of law. But the content of this communication opens, in colloquial terms, as we would say, a can of worms. In his first paragraph, he writes, and I quote, the second sentence: I appreciate your note regarding my acquaintance with the chairman of the board and the potential conflict it presents. While this familiarity precludes my direct role in prosecutorial decisions, it does not bar me from initiating an investigation by the White Collar Crime Unit. And that's good. That's good. He continues, I will therefore forward the materials you provided to the Inspector Watt and formally request that his unit undertake a comprehensive inquiry Once the investigation is complete, he continues, I shall consult my senior prosecutors to confirm that none has a conflicting interest in evaluating the sufficiency of the evidence. Assuming no conflict, or no such conflict, I should say, the file will be entrusted to an appropriate senior counsel. For full transparency, he continues, I note that one prosecutor sits on the same board as the chairman. Imagine a prosecutor in the office of the director of prosecution sits on the National Bank board, and the director of public prosecution is familiar, has a relationship with the chairman of the board, Mrs. Buddy. But he tries to convince us. However, he continues, she and I or she nor I influences the matter. After the investigative phase, in strict adherence to our conflict of interest protocol. Imagine that, my stray dog family. But he says, an ethical wall, he says, will be erected to ensure that neither she nor I influences the matter. And he trusts these steps in conclusion chart a fair and impartial path. Mr. Director of Public Prosecutions, the only thing that can be impartial at this stage is your recusal. Move away. Get an external prosecutor to investigate this matter. It doesn't look good. It doesn't smell good. And nothing you can say would convince right-thinking persons in this country that your setting up or your erection of an ethical wall can give us any assurance that no one will interfere and that justice will remain blind. My fellow citizens, I declare that in a democracy, perception matters just as much as process. Justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. And right now, the people are not seeing it. What we are seeing is politics. What we are witnessing is silence. We are seeing power shielding itself from scrutiny. And I remind you as I close, those who currently wield the power, no wall is high enough. No connection strong enough. And no offense sacred enough to place anyone above the law. So, Mr. DPP, immediately recuse yourself from all aspects of this investigation and delegate full authority to an external independent prosecutor. That prosecutor in your office who sits on the bank's board should step aside from the investigation entirely to preserve both integrity and public trust. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, as a regulator, must speak publicly and clearly on the issues of compliance and governance failings. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis must issue a statement of commitment to full transparency and open itself to scrutiny, whether in Parliament or wherever. And finally, we demand that the rule of law, not the rule of friends, not the rule of favors, and not the rule of political parties, we demand that it prevail in this land. This is not a partisan issue. This is a national one. Because when justice is compromised, the entire country suffers. When conflicts of interests are normalized, corruption becomes systemic. And when power is not held to account, democracy decays from the inside out. So let this message be to every public officer, every politician, every regulator, and every citizen. We are watching. We are demanding. We are prepared to act. This is our country. This is our democracy. And justice must remain blind, not deaf, not dumb, and certainly not bought. This is not about vengeance, my people. It is not about politics. It is about principle. It is about public confidence. And it is about protecting the integrity of the justice system. Because, my people, when powerful people close ranks, the people must open their eyes. When institutions falter, the people must rise. And when justice is at risk, we must all become its guardians. The court of public opinion is now in session, and it will not be silenced. My Sri Lanka family, let it be known throughout this federation, from the courtroom to the boardroom, and from the corridors of government to the streets. Let it be known, my Sri Lanka family, that we will not live behind this ethical wall erected in the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Adlai Smith. That's my story tonight, my Sri Lanka family, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God, my Sri Lanka family, and this final email. Is there a reason why the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank do not share buybacks? There are times, or there are things that can be performed from share buybacks, including stock reissue, or it can be used for employee compensation or stock sale. That's the question. This caller, I'm really wrapping up. I can give you 30 seconds though. Can you use it?
Yeah, Patches, on behalf of someone else tonight, thank you. I'm here listening to your usual educational program. And I want to just say, be strong and keep bringing the information to the people and stimulating the minds of the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. You be strong, Patches, and have a good night.
Thank you, my dear brother, for the encouragement. And yes, we all need to be strong in this country. else they will kick us around. They will do us as they please. But remember, in the context of that last caller, remember that promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but it comes from Almighty God, who is the absolute judge, who puts one down and sets another up, and Straight Dog family. And as we wrap, our quotation for tonight: ethics must begin at the top of the organization. It is a leadership issue, and the chief executive officer must set an example. And finally, my Straight Dog family, the DPP wants to set up an ethical wall. We're not going to live behind that wall. No. Erect that wall in your office, DPP Smith, but the people will not live behind it. And that's my story tonight, and I'm not gonna change it. I thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight as always. I know it's a thorny issue about the criminal investigation of the bank, and many of us will prefer to remain silent. But believe me, the truth always comes to light. So whatever your mind conceive, as I thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight and always, whatever your mind conceives, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Dog family, keep moving on. Bye-bye until we connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk. Be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. And thank God at all times.
When I wake in the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for